Line?
Here.
Mr. Cott?
Here.
Mr. Creedy?
Here.
Our first item of business is to approve the minutes from the January 9th, 2019. I think everybody has received a copy of those. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll second it.
Motion and a second. Any additions or corrections or notations for the minutes? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Okay, Mr. King?
Yes.
Mr. Zabel?
Yes.
Mr. Line?
Yes.
Mr. Cott?
Yes.
Mr. Creedy?
Yes.
Minutes approved. No items of old business and only one item of new business, a zone change request from A4 rural residential to A4 PUD rural residential, property located at 3890 North McCord Road. You want to take us through that?
I can do that. This is a parcel that is just south of the existing bank. It's located on the north side I think it's the south side of Waterford Bank and across the colony. I might have been in a hurry when I wrote this. The PUD over it allows for them to put a parking lot in without changing the underlying residential zoning to keep it in compliance with the zoning resolution. And I will read you the staff analysis, which is, the site is currently developed with a single-family dwelling that will be raised to accommodate a 23-space parking lot and landscaping. Surrounding land uses include the bank and commercial uses along Sylvania Avenue to the north, single-family and multi-family uses to the west, and single-family use to the south and east. The site is approximately 1 acre in size, and the applicant is proposing the 23-space parking lot with landscaping. The parking lot will provide additional parking for the bank and a parking located on the property contiguous to the north. A parking lot located within an A4 rural residential zoning district is only permitted in conjunction with a principal or new existing use. The proposed parking lot will serve as an additional parking for the Waterford Bank site and is accessed only through the existing bank parking lot. The parking lot occupies a small portion of the site, and no development for the remainder of the site is proposed at this time. Any future development of the area will require an amendment to PUD. The applicant is proposing a 10-foot frontage green belt along McCord Road, consisting of a combination of canopy trees and shrubs evenly spaced along the frontage. In addition, all existing trees and bushes that are unaffected by the parking lot will be retained, along with an existing chain link fence along the southern and eastern property lines. Additional pine trees and shrubs will be provided along the southern side yard property line. The Sylvania Township Land Use Plan recommends this area for low, medium density residential uses. The intent of that is to generally accommodate single-family uses, and the current A4 zoning designation is consistent with the 2018 Sylvania Township Land Use Plan.
What did the Lucas County plan, they approved this too?
They did. Based on the property's conjunction with the other planned unit developments in the area and the mixed use of the neighborhood, they believe that this is compatible, and they have recommended that you approve.
Okay. So basically, they want to tear down the house, put in a small parking lot, but they can't do anything. This doesn't open them up to build on the back part of the lot without going through some additional processes.
They would have another additional process if they wanted to do anything else to the PUD.
Besides just the small parking lot?
Besides just the 23-space parking lot, yes.
Okay. Does anybody else have any questions?
And as I was looking at the parking lot's proposed to be up on the front part of that lot as opposed to the back? Is that what, closest to the court?
Closest to the street. Yeah.
Yes, closest to the street to be access to the other parking lot.
Do you know, I don't think it said, what is the bank zoned? Is that a
Commercial.
C2?
I believe it is C2.
All right. I was just wondering if it was a PUD or, if, you know, if it
It is a PUD. Jerry Parker is here, and he's been with the project.
I think it was a PUD, I remember
It
it.
is a PUD, yeah.
I'm just thinking for like we did for down the road here where he combined and made it all one large PUD. I didn't know if that,
Well, one of the
they
reasons
couldn't really do
that,
that here.
one of the reasons that they worked to do it this way was to leave the underlying land residential to hopefully keep,
Make sure it
neighbors
wasn't accessible for a
comfortable.
building.
Right.
Just checking.
Nope, no
Thank you.
problem. If you'd like to hear from Mr. Parker.
Sure. Then open this up for people to address. State your name and address, because we are being recorded.
Good evening, Terry Parker, 1 Seagate, Toledo, Ohio, representing Waterford Bank. Yeah, the staff recommended approval, the planning commission recommended unanimous approval. When I first got involved, this was started as a zoning change, and I withdrew that because I didn't think, A, it was necessary, and I didn't think it was consistent with your master plan. So we just did a PUD with no change to the underlying zoning, and the staff supported that, and so did the entire plan commission. I will say that we agreed to all the conditions that are set forth in terms of the approval here. The neighbors here today, I met the neighbors in the back just at the planning commission hearing. What they wanted was a solid fence in the back, and we agreed to that as a condition to approval for security and other reasons.
How about the side, the south side?
The south side's got ample landscape. Have you got the site plan up there? Somewhere? There should be a
They
site
have,
plan.
they have the site plan.
Yeah, we have it all in front of us.
Okay, the site plan indicates there's a lot of landscaping, green area, and so that the fence on the back, I think, is something that the neighbor wanted back there.
So the fence is on the east side, in the back.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
correct. And so we would put, I believe your resolution permits 6 feet, I don't know if it permits 8, whatever your resolution permits, we have agreed to that, and it was a condition added to the recommendation of approval.
Is there a fence behind the bank building too?
I don't think there is a solid fence behind that bank building.
Okay, I
There may
don't
be
think
a
there is.
split rail or a 3-foot fence that some of the neighbors have there. But I know we don't have one, I don't think that's ours.
So that fence will just be on this part
East side,
of the
yes,
parking lot?
we're butt up against the neighbor there, yes.
On the south side, was there something read in there about if there's a chain link fence?
Yeah, but that
South side
belongs
be
to the-
retained, Or is that?
That's the
Okay.
residence fence.
Okay. I was just curious.
And it's a very nice site plan, and everybody agreed that additional parking is needed for the bank there. And when I talked to the neighbor, they concurred in that, and so
Okay.
we want to make sure that they're happy, and then we want that as a specific condition. We agreed to it.
Is there anybody else who would like to address the zoning commission on this issue? Just come up and state your name and your address.
Jeff Smothers, 3838 North Pecord. I kind of am opposing this a little bit here. I'm on the south side. It's gonna leave my backyard completely accessible like it is now to the people that live there now, which they're just renters. I own my home. I would not be opposed if they put that privacy fence all the way down my side. Then I wouldn't have much to complain about, other than the lights being in my bedroom window from the parking lot. That's what I think needs to happen, at least, is privacy fence down my property line for, they're not watching my grandkids play in my backyard, and you got a parking lot that a lot of stuff goes on in the township that nobody knows about, and I just don't like the idea of a parking lot right there wide open to my bedroom and my backyard.
Setback from Record Road gonna have.
And so you don't think the landscaping will,
There's a couple maple trees there, there's no,
but the additional landscaping they're proposing?
whatever it is, I'm sure it's only gonna be a little bush, and how long is it gonna take to grow up where they can't see in my backyard? You put a fence up right now and it's done. then I don't have much to oppose then.
Okay. Anything else?
No?
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Is
you.
there anybody else who would like to, sure, come on up. Again, state your name and your address.
Hi, my name is Rachel Nielsen. My husband couldn't be here tonight. This is my father. I live at 3855 Sylvanwood, right behind. We're the ones that were requesting the fence. Honestly, we purchased this house 13 months ago, and I never expected this to happen. I see why they need more parking. I get that. We are the ones requesting the fence because I have 2 small children, and my husband is a police officer, and I just don't want to be visible from McCord Road, and Mr. Parker has been great to work with. However, after the planning commission meeting, he said, he would get me some fences to choose from, and I had said I was requesting a white vinyl privacy fence because it's easier to maintain. My husband and I wouldn't have to maintain it, it wouldn't rot, and honestly, we can't afford to maintain it. We live on one law enforcement income. There's no way we could ever replace it years down the road when it needs fixed. But he had said that he doesn't know if he could get the bank to pay for that. So that's my biggest concern is the safety of my children and the visibility of my husband when he's out doing yard work. He actually works inside of the maximum security prison in downtown, or in North Toledo. And we've had instances before where inmates have gotten released from prison and they have tried to find our address. So I didn't know if that was something that could be put in there, a specific style of fence. I honestly don't know much about this, but that's what we're requesting is a solid white vinyl fence. And then our other concern is they're going to raise the property to meet the bank's, it's like 3 feet?
Are they going to raise the property? Right now, the bank property is about 2 to 3 feet higher than the property that the parking lot is going to go to. We were wanting to make sure that you're not going to change the lay of the land, because right now we don't have, or she doesn't, I should say, have any water problem in the yard. And so if proper size catch basins obviously are required, and that's established by rules. But if you raise that property to meet the property of the bank, you're changing the lay of the land, and she's now going to be 2 feet lower than she ever, than what the property was right now. So that's the other concern. I know that when you put a parking lot in, catch basins are required by size, by EPA or whoever, but if you change the lay of the land, it's going to make a big difference as well. So the problem is, is there, if that does happen, next year, 2 years down the road, she starts flooding back there, which we never had a problem with.
Who's responsible?
Who's responsible for the damages and things like that, and that's happened, and if you look down in Finley, part of their flooding problems, they assume are from when they put the Walmart in along the expressway there, which used to be floodplain for the river, and then when they put the Walmart parking lot, there's no place for that water to go, so now it goes down the river farther into town. So, I understand parking lots are needed, but that's groundwater has to go somewhere, and if you got pavement there.
So which property are what's your last name again?
Nielsen,
Because it doesn't show up on,
I put it under initials because of my husband's occupation.
okay.
Have you guys seen a copy of this law, what they proposed?
I have, I saw it when we went down to the other meeting downtown. But just like the other gentleman's concern, I know they're going to do landscaping, it's a beautiful bank, but who's to say that later on down the road, will that be maintained, the trees? There's no guarantee. I completely understand.
You can't install a 20-foot tree, a 20-foot pine tree.
I just caution you on the white vinyl, and this is for Mr. Parker also, because they do get splashed, grass sticks to them, then they grow algae, I told Mr. Cott, I drove by the library on the way here. You guys might want to take a look at it. I think it's a vinyl fence, but it's not white. It's natural colored, so it blends into the landscape better if it's like a tan or off brown. But then they don't show dirt, dust, lawnmower clippings. And then it necks down next to the residence to a 3-foot, like from their front eave forward, so it's not intrusive out by the road. that would be what I would propose, even for the bank, Mr. Parker. You guys could take a look. It's on the east edge of the library parking lot, next to that residential house that sits on Sylvania Avenue.
Okay.
We've done white vinyl before along Central Avenue behind some of the dealers. Obviously, that's right on asphalt, so you don't have grass, dirt, whatever, but I just caution you because they do.
I mean, the vinyl does.
I mean, you can clean it easy, but if you don't, then the white looks really nasty.
Right.
The vinyl opposed to the wood, because I said, you know.
Sure.
You're, what do you do?
I think now there's better vinyls that are more natural colors, and that would be my recommendation to the bank, is to do the east side and the south, at least up into Mr. Smothers' front eve, however they want to propose it, but.
Did you talk to Mr. Parker about this?
We spoke after the planning commission meeting downtown, and we agreed on a fence and everything, but afterwards, he said he wasn't sure if they would go for paying for a vinyl fence. And that's why we're here at this meeting, because I just wanted to state it again, that that's what we would like to be installed.
Thank you.
Your concern for water runoff of a parking lot, you can't run your water on someone's property, so that the elevations would have to be done where that would not take place anytime. Jerry, did you? What's the idea of a vinyl fence?
Well, like I said, we would give them samples. We'll do whatever, they want. I wasn't sure you wanted a vinyl fence, and a white vinyl fence, because quite frankly, it looks too stark. It looks like, I hate to say it, a wall in those close corners with that landscaping, you want it to blend in.
That's why I think the natural color, even if it is vinyl, look better. I mean, the library one's about the color of your jacket, maybe.
Yeah,
It's not
We're only
as
talking
intrusive.
about their property, not the
Well, that's
adjacent.
the other thing, I think there's some misunderstanding. You don't have to maintain this fence, because the fence will be on our property, okay? So we'll be maintaining the fence.
Right.
So, I mean,
But the fence would just be in the one corner, it wouldn't run across the other properties that are
No, correct,
just on theirs.
yes.
Okay.
No, not all across the entire east portion.
The entire east, yeah. I don't know how much property they have.
There's like 3 houses there.
Well, it looks like
That-
65 feet, 70 feet, and half of 60 feet.
It's two, on my husband's house is about 4 feet that is, backed up with his house, but then the house on the other side of us is completely backing up to the parking lot, and then a little bit in the next house.
We'll put up along the entire rear of the property and we'll do whatever color I think blends in with the land. If you look at the site plan, there's extensive landscaping there.
Yeah, so white wouldn't necessarily.
No,
but
I don't think.
You'll work with them.
It would destroy the whole effect of the nice landscaping, and you know the
So we've
facility.
established that you're going to put in a fence.
Yes, absolutely,
Okay,
Just on the east side.
correct.
right.
The county didn't have any concerns about the south side.
Not if you look at the green area. If you look at where the parking lot actually is, it's way up toward the north, okay? Toward the west. And so the issue of the drainage, as Mr. Zabel says, and as we said at the planning commission, we have to design this so that there is no runoff onto your property or anybody's property.
And there's a 30-foot setback between the property east to the south and the parking lot. Is that by?
It's pretty, there's a good setback on that. It's a lot of grass and landscaping. I think that looks a lot better. You won't see it with those trees in there.
I can see Mr. Smothers' concern, because the house being taken down, the house pretty much acts as a shield on his rear whole property. Like, you take that house out of there, and you're gonna have a view from McCord Road to his backyard.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know where he's at. What
He's
house
the
is he?
next one, from the one you guys want to demolish, he's the next one on McCord to the south.
Next to it.
To the south.
Yeah, and both of their front eaves are about dead even, right? The houses,
Yeah.
I think it would, I don't think I'm opposed to it, but I'm just wondering if you want a fence all the way along that south border. Maybe we could go up to block his backyard, maybe go up to the front of his house. I don't know. To me, turn the fence so it doesn't go all the way around, but maybe come up toward where his house is, if I'm seeing it correctly.
The house you want to tear down, mine's side by side, right there.
in the south.
I see.
Based on the plan, it looks like, really, the parking lot's gonna come just about the back eve there
Yep.
of the house. So
Correct.
that front section there where the house sits, that's where the parking lot's gonna be.
Right.
So would you be opposed to putting the fence up to the back of his house?
I'm not opposed to it, no.
But how would that, well, that gets worked out in the
You gotta
next step
work
of
it
the
out.
process.
I mean, because if this was a commercial zone, which in my eyes, this technically is a commercial use, you know what I mean? There would have to be a fence there. So I think this board or us are kind of giving some leeway to stay within the A4 or even R4 PUD. I think we're being generous in that respect, being that what this is gonna generate revenue for a bank. If this were a McDonald's or anything else going in there, obviously we'd have to do commercial zoning, and then there would be required a fence next to a residential. So I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't
If you
feel-
look at the existing parking lot, see the trees there?
Yes.
I mean, that's a pretty nice landscaping buffer. And if the gentleman wants
Trees
us...
next to the parking lot are coming out, are they not?
Yeah.
Because the parking lot's coming through.
And those have had probably now, I mean, I see his concern, those have had 15 years of growth or 10 years of growth.
I don't, it's fine with me.
Sure.
That's fine. We'll do that.
And I'm not trying to argue, I'm just trying to get,
I just think it destroys the landscaping that we've got planned in there, because now the landscaping will be inside the fence, you won't see it, but it's all right.
And that's quite fine by me.
yeah, because the fence would go on the very outside boundary then, correct?
Correct.
So bank patrons would still see the nice landscaping, which will look good and kind of block the fence.
You want the fence on the property line?
Yes.
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 Okay. That's
Well,
fine.
I don't care, but I think that's what the residents want.
Correct. That's fine.
And they could even do it on the south side too, because my fence, my whole backyard is my fence. It's, nobody's connected to it, and there's 3 inches beyond my fence all the way around my property line. That's what I was told when I bought this property 22 years ago.
So you already have a fence.
Yeah, but yours is a chain link?
Chain link fence.
Yeah.
To keep my dogs in.
So we'll turn the fence up to the approximate rear of his house. And then, as I said, I'll present a sample to both of you, color-wise, and see if you like it.
And I think 6 foot's substantial. I mean, I think you go 8, then yeah, it's too much. Then you look industrial.
Right.
Well, if he only goes to the back of my house,
Come up to the
then
microphone.
the whole back,
Excuse me, can you come up to the microphone? This is being taped, and your information is going to go on it.
They're only gonna bring the fence to the back of my house, then what I'm gonna have is what I'm seeing now ever since this bank has been here. A row of traffic going through there it's not the people that work there, it's someone cutting through. So if they fence this all off, it's gonna eliminate that. I don't know who it is, if it's kids or what it is, coming off of Holland-Sylvania or out of the neighborhood behind where these people live, I don't know. But I do know there's constantly a row of traffic going down that fence, that chain link fence right now.
Pedestrian traffic.
Yes. And it's not the people in the bank, because they're on this side of all them evergreen trees.
Well,
That's where I see the
once
traffic.
the privacy fence gets put up across the east side, they're not gonna get through it.
So you mean you want the fence to go to your front eve? I don't think we want to run it to the front.
Not to the front, I don't think you can do that, can you?
No, usually.
I think you can
fences
only
have to
go
go
to
off
the...
the back of the house.
Yeah, it has to
No,
only...
I think, you're looking to see what the trees they're putting there, they're putting 10-foot trees there, those are pretty big.
I understand this, but what I also understand is the traffic of people that I see going through there that has nothing to do with the bank after the bank is closed. I don't want that next to my property when I have grandchildren playing in the backyard and my wife and stuff like that.
There's nothing that's not a zoning issue. I mean, that's
It's
more
not an issue.
law enforcement. I mean, if it's happening now, it's not gonna make any difference how the property's zoned. I mean, they're coming whether there's a house there, they're coming if there's a parking
And
lot.
actually, once a 6-foot fence is making a big L there, they'll have to go behind the bank to jump the fence that's there. They won't come towards you guys anymore.
I mean, my whole point is that's beyond our...
Hopefully, yes.
That's beyond our
It's beyond the
purview.
scope of the zoning
Right.
commission to...
That's beyond the scope of the
to be able
zoning
to do
commission.
that.
Yeah, I mean,
But you could contact the township police and, advise them of this, and then they can,
Yeah, there's definitely some
you know,
trespassing.
Sure you can, but,
yeah, but it's not a zoning issue in terms of
can't
this
do anything
particular
about it.
property.
no, but what we're talking about is a fence right now, and if they L'd that fence off, then I understand that they went to extremes to do some good looking landscaping, I understand that. But that's, landscaping is not gonna stop the flow coming through there of pedestrians, of fence will.
Well, and that's, you've just agreed to do the fence, I believe.
Wait, the fence is only gonna come to your property line that already has a chain link fence, correct?
Yes,
So even that fence won't stop it, you just won't see them. They'll be on the other side of the fence. So is that the issue, or?
I think so, yes.
Because the other thing I'm thinking, just wondering, and I think Jerry made a point of, is you've got a fence to keep people out of the yard. Do you want to stare at a fence, or do you want to look at the landscape buffer?
I'd rather see the fence than the traffic, when I'm in my backyard, I don't, that's why I said, I wouldn't, if they put the fence up, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I'll have to live with the lights when I try to go to bed, Because the parking lot, I think now, they've changed it. I think the parking lot's gonna go beyond the back of my house, if I'm not mistaken.
But all of this is daytime traffic, right? The bank
No.
is not open at night?
No.
It seems to me that like pedestrian, people
Yeah.
walking through, so I don't know if they're cutting through.
I don't know what they're doing.
I think if we get you this privacy fence, then even to your rear eave is gonna stop anyone cutting through.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And he's agreed to that, so.
Okay.
Okay, is there anybody else that has
They'll get
anything
contact.
else they want to bring up? Anybody else who wants to address? Okay. Any other questions from members of the zoning commission?
How do we make that part of our ruling?
Zone is yes or no.
Zone is yes or no?
It's yes or no. But
We have this on record, it's on record.
It's on record, and Mr. Parker is a man of his word. There would be no change from the bank on that, but you can't condition zoning.
Right.
It's yes or no.
I do have one quick question. Obviously, are they extending the sidewalk in the front that was there? Because I'm looking on Google Earth last night, and for whatever reason, Huntington Bank along the corridor has no sidewalk. So it goes along the Sylvania Avenue side, so I'm like, okay, here Waterford Bank put in this nice sidewalk, and you get to Huntington, you cross their driveway, there's no sidewalk there. So you either gotta walk through, which...
Different timeframes of construction.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't concern your project, but I'm thinking, how did they ever get away with that?
Yeah, one was there, and then the other one came.
Yeah, it's just, it's...
Yeah, I think our site plan calls for that sidewalk to be.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause I
very
think
nice
there's
plans.
There's one there
Yeah.
existing, so...
Okay, I think we've talked about this extensively. Do I have a motion to approve?
A motion to approve?
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve the zone change request. Following all the discussion that we've had, is any other additional discussion or comments? Hearing none, call the roll.
Mr. Creedy?
Yes.
Mr. Pat?
Yes.
Ms. Hillen?
Yes,
Mr. Zabel?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you all very much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Is there anything else we need to know for the good of the order? Is there going to be a March meeting?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
So I think this really is goodbye.
This really is goodbye?
Should we just let the residents know when this goes to the trustees?
This goes to the trustees when? In
March 5th.
March 5th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just let you guys know, March 5th, if you want to talk to them, or obviously...
Projected date for approval and getting started,
Well, March 5th is when the trustees approve it,
Yeah.
then the project is a go.
okay.
And I would show up to that meeting for your fence, just to make sure.
Okay?
Thank you.
And so, we wish you well, and if no, we won't see anybody in March, we will hear about April, and, I guess I will entertain, unless there's anything else, a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Mr. Rabel?
Yes.
Ms. Simon?
Yes.
Mr. Condon?
Yes.
Yes.
Motion carries, we are adjourned. I have a quick question for you.
You think?
Are you gonna be able to do landscaping for me?
Yes.
Okay.
Just kind of ran out.
That's okay, that's okay. I'm gonna be home all March, if anybody wants to talk to me about it, because I'm having knee replacement surgery March 8th, so I'll be sitting around doped up on Vicodin.